What's going on, everybody? This is Nick from House of Paint 203 bringing you the fourth part, yes, fourth part of the Storm Giant series. We're going to wrap him up in this one here. We got a final highlight to do on his fabric and his flesh, and we've got to work on that base and, of course, this lightning here. So let's get going and let's bring this guy to life. As always, want to give a special shout out to friend of the show, Dominic Marriott, owner and founder of Credit UK, all the way across the pond in the UK. Dominic is a crafter of dice trays, dice boxes, dice towers, dice vaults. You name it, Dominic makes it. You got to check out his stuff so that you can up your game at your gaming table today. Also, while you're here, be sure to smite like and slam subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all the latest content that I am putting out there in my quest to paint the manual. And of course, here we are on the Storm Giant, first giant on the channel, bringing him up to completion. All right, so for the flesh, the first thing I'm gonna do is mix my heavy blue gray with a little Stonewall gray. Stonewall gray is a bit of a paler gray. Just try to bring out these final highlights in his flesh here. So just the upper area. Of his muscles.
And follow the curve of his veins.
Same thing down here on his leg. Hopefully when that dries, it dries subtly. Of his arm up here. kind of want to see what a final highlight of pure stone gray looks like on his veins. So I'm gonna just gamble here. I'm gonna take a thin brush on the back. And do the same thing here, some pure stone gray on like his knuckles. I wanted to bring the fabric up to kind of a like a white, give a little contrast to the flesh. So that's what I'm gonna do here. The lower folds of his skirt. All right, so I think I'm gonna go in on the lightning here. And for this, I'm using a blue acrylic ink. It's kind of a darker blue. It's called Phthalo blue. Probably heard it on Bob Ross. Phthalo blue, but yeah, it's an acrylic ink. I'm gonna use that to put a base coat on the lightning here. The lightning is like this clear effect that comes on a lot of the models. So for this, it's gonna go on pretty, as you'll see, it's gonna go on pretty loosely. So Really want to keep with it. Might have to give it a couple applications. As you can see, it's got some nice coverage. It's got a little bit of a translucent effect, as does this material. But for this, I'll probably go ahead and speed things up a little bit. As that lightning bolt is at least based with the blue ink. So as you can see, it has kind of a translucent effect, not so much an opaque effect. So you still get the clear material still kind of looking clear. And we're gonna bring that up with a bit of a dry brush. As that dries, I'm going to switch to his base here and cover his base in a base coat of shadowed stone. As you can see, I've switched brushes here to my number 2 to get into all the little nooks and crannies that my larger brush wouldn't have fit into. I think I'm going to paint this base. I'm going to paint this base shadowed stone as well. It appears that the lightning is dry. So I think what I'll try to do here is start to give the lightning a dry brush. For this, I'm using a color called Ghostly Blue. It's a lighter blue, as you can see in the palette behind me here. So there's the dry brush. I'm gonna lay a black wash over the stone base here, darken it up just a little bit. That's a pretty good wash on the base there, so we'll go ahead and let that dry. All right, now that the base is dry, I'm going to go in with some Stonewall Gray. Give it a quick little dry brush. Liking this dry brush. Glue the figure down, so pop that on right there. Give that some time to dry. Only takes about 10 seconds or so. All right, so that should be off to the races there as far as adhering. So I'm gonna put some winter tufts around the base along with some rocks just to create some brown rocks, I should say. Just to create some variance. The base, I'll leave that there. As you can see, I did that a couple times along the base, just in little patterns. Now I have these little, I don't know, they're called river rocks. So I'm gonna just kind of drop them in. I hope they don't look like crap. Now what I'm doing is filling in the rest of the negative space here along the curvature of his base with small pebble-sized rocks. They're actually called river rocks, but I think they have a nice kind of gravel effect. Think about him standing on, you know, a mountain pass or something like that. All right, so I think I'm ready to call this one completed. My first 4-part project on this series, and I think it was very important to do 4 parts on this guy. It would have just been too much to squeeze into 3. The base looks pretty good. I'm very happy with it. Yes, my first giant on the channel, the Storm Giant, King Hecaton of Storm King's Thunder, and I think we were able to do him justice. Very proud of this model. A lot of time and effort, but in the end, all worth it. As always, I thank you for joining me. Information on how to follow me on all my social media platforms is immediately following the video, as is information on how to follow Dominic Marriott of Credit UK. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.